Welcome back to a new video. So here we are, back in the front shop again, all primed up. Just bolted these guards on to give a bit of inspiration again. I've only got 2 bolts holding them on. So yeah, just gonna leave all the stuff in here just to stop all the dust, the majority of the dust from actually going inside. That way it's easy to blow off. But I've got to start on the, I guess, body filling stage now. Just filling up where all these bits are from where welded and the joins down below. And there's a few little ripples going on through the roof, which I'm just going to possibly put a skim over the whole lot and just block it all back so it's all perfect. Same with the front, there's a few little wobbles. It's hard to see in the camera, but a lot of that should block out the primer, but also I'm just going to have a bit of filler. There's a prominent dent just there, you can see it. So yeah, we're going to start on this. Currently blasting at some hinges in here. Always the rusty looking door hinges. So Bailey here's just giving a bit of a blast up back to bare metal. Good job, eh? Annoying. So yeah, just going to take these back to metal, make them a fresh start, and they'll be good to bolt in the car and get the door set up. So first off, I just started setting this all down with 80 grit, even though it looks reasonable. And what I'm going to do is do a very light skim over the whole entire lot. That's what I'll be doing for every balking process on this whole car. And then I'm just going to sand it back until we hit through to the primer, and probably block the primer for a wee bit until we'll almost get through the steel and then stop there. You can generally tell once you get through to the yellow sort of wash primer that's underneath as to how far you can go to. Like just here I've just nicked the edge and you start to see the yellow coming through, so you just stop. But yeah, I'm just going to skim the whole lot and give it a sand over. Done these bits too, just where the factory joins are, so every factory one's got a little wobble through there. Not that I knew until I did the bodywork on here, so that's going to be taken out too at the same time. Skimmer fillers all in, so that's just going off for the moment. It's quite thin, as you can still see the grey through it. So yeah, I'm just waiting for that to go off, and then I'm going to start scuffing up some more areas, probably in the middle of this, in here. There's a couple of divots in the area where I'll weld it up, where the factory little tabs are for the Japanese num plates. Just finished sanding back my roof, so this is what I've been left with. Just a few little areas, these few little areas that I've gone through which have been high spots. It's almost like a direct ridge along there from the framing on the sunroof, which is what all this piece is here. So that's probably actually in most factory roofs, but I'm just straightening it out. I always knew there's a few dents there, but there's a few others over the other side there. Front here where I knew the rust was, which I dug out, that's through there. My son's just finished blasting all these up back to bare steel, so they're all looking good. Just going to put a coating on them so they don't rust up, and those two up there. I'll probably end up re-blasting them to get the sealer off that's still stuck on there, but we'll just try and do this before we go home. But yeah, he's done a really good job. First time blasting, so he's been as long doing those hinges as I did doing my roof, so that's all good. So carrying on from yesterday when I did the roof, I decided I'm just going to put together this sunroof mechanism so that it's not all laying around in bits and pieces. So as you can see, this rust neutralizer actually turned the white quite a horrible tan looking colour, but that's just what happens with it, it stains through it. But that's not going to matter for this because you're not going to see any of it. So I got this canopy seal, which is like a mastic sort of glue type seal, which I'm going to run around all around here, because before it had the foamy tape, but I don't think it actually sealed it too well because there was a water leak in the hood lining. So yeah, I'm going to run it around the edge here. Got these rubber bits so it doesn't compress the steel into the the alloy, because it's made of alloy, into here, and then I can crank it down tight. And I'm also going to use this stuff, I think, around the edge. That way it's going to seal it, but also I can still, if I ever have to, I don't want to, remove it. Otherwise if we use like urethane, it will It'd literally be a pain to get off. You'd have to cut it and make a big mess, and yeah, it'd be mayhem. So that's what I'm going to do. Lay some of that seal around there and lay this in here and bolt it in place. So here it is with all that mastic sort of sealer on it. So it's almost like a putty, just mould it into place. And once it pushes down on the other surface, it will seal it. And I've actually run urethane around these corners just to keep the water out. Same with that one there, and just up to the join, through that join. And I've laid it on the edge so it sticks up high through the middle. And then once that seals against that ridge, it should be nice and sealed. So hopefully no water coming in. I'm not too sure what that is for, because there is no actual bolt hole through here apart from this one here, which is that hole there. So who knows, we'll just bolt it on now and see how we get on. Sunroof's all bolted in now. So yeah, that sealer's worked a treat. It's all squishing out the sides up here where the main bolt is, and under there it's all nicely sealed from what I can see from this side. Can't see any daylight through it, so that's good. Once these screws go in there, it should pull it down a bit tighter. That's just for the little air deflector which pops up, and I've got to find some little fabric area, little stick on bits for over here where the little shutter goes down and rests on it. But yeah, it's a good accomplishment for how it was when I pulled it out. It's full of silicone and rubber and all crap under there. Move my car around into where I'm going to leave it for the next wee while I work on it, so it's out of the way for everyday work. So what I've done, well, this is what my boss suggested, is actually brush in behind where the hinges are going to go. So that's what I've done, some white 041 2K paint. So I've brushed in there on both sides, and what I've done also is brush the other side of the hinges, because if you were taking off some of these hinges on these old Toyotas, they're rusty all between because there's no paint or coating between. So this is so that I can bolt the hinges up and get my door all fitted quite nicely, and then when I pull it off I can leave the hinges on and I'll paint the hinges on the body, so that when it comes to fit up time they're already set right and I don't have to adjust them, scratch paint, all that sort of things. So it's just going to help me out in the long run when I go to bolt together. And once the door's all fitted on there, I'll just make sure the guard all meets the door quite nicely, because these are quite flimsy too and they always go to shape. So that's the theory behind all doing that. And then I might possibly do the same with the hinges up here, just possibly brush behind there, get the coatings between it, and then I can set my hinges for my bonnet. That way they can be painted on the car too, possibly. I might not do that, because the problem is if you do that and you have to pull it off, then it wrecks all your nice paint job. My boss has also talked about bolting it down and painting over the bolts, but then once again, if you need to pull the guard off for whatever reason in one of these old cars, then you disrupt all the paint again. So I might just keep them like this. I'm not sure, still to decide. Focus on the rest of the body first and then worry about that later, but I'm just doing that first. I need to set my doors up to make sure all this is all correct once when I do the final bog work and fix up all that area where I've joined it. But it should be correct, because everything else is just lined up when I put it back in. But yeah, we'll touch on that when we get to it. Here we are, Monday night at work. So I've spent the last, I don't know, hour and a half just sanding areas I'm going to put bog in, or filler, whatever word you want to call it. So I've been sanding up all around here where the existing filler was, all through here, all around the arches, because it's a little bit wobbly from welding it. A couple areas just through here where I put the patches in, and all up through the door shut area where I welded it. It doesn't actually look too bad, but it is a few wobbles, so I'm just going to make it as smooth as I can. Just finished sanding up through my door shut area, So still got to do a bit more work here and fit the door on, painting those hinges like I showed you, just to make sure this is all in the same keeping as a door. This will cut pretty well. Still got to do some finishing off and get that line quite correct. So straighten it out, and I also got to put my rear bumper on there, make sure it's all the same lines. But yeah, she's coming along good. Here we are, pretty much finished all the bog work on this side. So all in there's all done. It's very minimal really for how much welding I've done. Just built this corner out a little bit so it lines up with that line. All the arch is all done, and just put a little bit in the little pits and stuff from the welds at the bottom there. So just done the same on this side, done the bit on there behind the num plate, and just there. Still got to finish sanding this back, but just to smooth it around. I've just been doing it with the DA sander, so you don't see behind there, but I kind of want it semi-tidy. So yeah, that's it. Spent probably about 3 nights on this, just trying to get it perfect, and so once it's all primed again, it'll look how it should. Interesting car we got here today, little Honda. Don't see any of these around. 1971. Damage to the bonnet. Pretty cool though. Little tiny seat in the back. Pretty cool. This is how I store my car every night after working on it. Just pull the plastic back over, just so no moisture lands on it and soaks into the filler. It shouldn't be too bad because it's primer, but primer's also porous and it will suck into the moisture and make it rust underneath if you don't have it covered up. So yeah, just a one little tip. Time to go home. So just applied some filler to this other side. Just waiting for it to go off, and then about to sand it, and it'll probably look similar to the other side. Just finished up all the filler work on this side, so it's been a bit of a mission, but finally got there. Filled up all the little highs and lows, doing all the welding through there. Same with at the bottom there, and up around the arch there. As you can see, it's quite thin, you can still see the primer through it. Let's just get little hollows out. Did a small patch up there, but you can barely see it. So yeah, she's going to be final stage. Now after this, I've just got to block all this back with 240, get all these lines nice and sharp again, and then it'll be a full prime over the main part of the body. Aligning up my driver's door a little better than what it was. I thought it was good until I did the underside. The underside was fractionally better, so I want to make this one the same. So what I've done down here is I've actually had to elongate the holes on the hinge here, because these have been set way too far back from factory, and you can't actually shunt these ones forward like the catch in there. So yeah, I'm just waiting for this to go off. She just put a bit of primer in between the two where the paint is, because I've been tweaking around, it's ripped the paint off. So yeah, just waiting for this to go off, but yeah, just tweaking it up and getting it fitting good like the other side. Got this hinge lined up pretty well now, so I put some pencil marks on there just so I can sort of see where it lines up quite a lot easier. So obviously that line lines up quite nicely now, and it's still pretty good. It's about a 4.5mm gap all the way around. Looks bigger when you get on the angle, but yeah, it's pretty good, nice and even around there. And from the top view looking down, you can see that's all flush. Everything's all flush looking down. So yeah, she's very happy with that. The other side's the same. So this is the passenger door. Once again, nice and parallel, 4.5mm gap all the way down. And once again, it's nice and flush when you look down like that. Nice and flush when you look down like that. And same up here. That's why I have all my door rubbers in here just to make sure that's where it's going to sit. If I don't have those door rubbers in there, then it's probably going to sit differently. If I don't have them in there. Here we are, another evening down at work. So tonight I've been blocking back all this whole panel with 240 grit on the block and vacuum, and gave a bit of a guide coat. So I'm blocked back all that, sanded all the way around the door shut, just down to the bottom there, sanded around the pocket and all around the top, all around these bits, so that I can prime the core areas again. Here we are, all the bog work's all finished. So just got into the booth, had to push it in because the car stopped running for some reason, and use that start your bastard, it'll run for a little bit and then it'll just cut out. So we'll deal with that another time. But yeah, she's all good to go, about to wipe it down, put some pretzel on it, jack it up, take the wheels off like I did with the previous prime up, and mask it out and make it grey again for the final coat. All primed up now, all looking nice. You can see all the nice lines now, nice and uniform. Looks good under there. Just at the sill again because there's a couple of little bumps so I massaged it out. All the door jambs are looking sweet. Same with the roof. So very happy with this. So this is the final prime. Yeah, so the next bit will be to sand it down and paint the body. But yeah, everything's looking primo. So this is the end of this little video. Things on to the end of this stage. Progress has been a bit slower lately because I've just had a new little baby boy about 5 weeks ago, so I haven't really been at work. But yeah, finally to the next stage of this. So literally that's most of the body filling sort of work done, apart from the front guards. But I'll have to do those on the car once the body's all painted, and paint the guards on the car. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next time.